Alrighty guys, so done a lot of the grinding. I'm going to start actually doing some of the fiberglass repair now on the side of the boat here. So the initial crack went from here to about here. I've ground back a long way. This is nice and solid. This is really solid area. This bit here, yeah, I went maybe a bit further than I thought. This bit here, this is something I've laid on the inside. So I don't want to grind any further because I want some integrity to build it from the outside, so that when I go to the inside of the repair, what I need to do, then I'm going to limit the amount of grinding I've got to do from the inside. So once I rebuild this up, this is now nearly, this is about 3/4 of an inch, nearly an inch thick, because the balsa used to come to this line. I wanted a good fixture point for my fiberglass, so I can start doing my repair. And then when I do the grinding from the inside, I'll find the fiberglass that I've made, and I'll also do a good 3, 4, maybe even 6 or 7 mil repair from the inside. But I want to keep the shape and integrity of the hull to do the repair from the outside.
Hi, I'm Erica, and this is my fiance Davy. We are living aboard our new to us hurricane damaged catamaran, Barefoot 2.0. We met in Fiji 3 years ago and have experienced so many beautiful places together. For the past 2 years, we've made the ocean our home, starting on our Catalina 36 in the States and the Northern Caribbean. We hope to one day circumnavigate the globe, but for now we are fixing our boat one step at a time. Subscribe to our channel to follow our journey. When faced with a challenge, look for a way, not a way out.
So this is where I'm going to leave it right now. I'm going to give it a good acetone wash, a couple of washes over. We're going to go into the bilge and we're going to put some tape over these areas so that I can start to do some building up, just so that everything doesn't run down on the inside. And that will give me a good base to start building this back up again. It's going to be lots of layers. I'm not just going to put in the adhesive filler. I will put some adhesive filler in first to build up a shape. And then after that, I'm going to lay glass. Even though it's this deep in with a core, I'm still going to lay glass, multiple layers of glass on the way out. So this will actually be the strongest point of the whole boat once it's been repaired. When we do the inside, then I'll mount the camera slightly differently so that you'll be able to actually see some of the repairs from the inside. But here I just want to start building it up. So now I've got the tape on, I'm going to clean. I probably should have cleaned it up actually before I put the tape on. Let's just hope that the tape holds. If it doesn't, I can retape it. Let's see how it goes. So clean it up, and I'm going to mix up a bit of thickened epoxy just to start building some structure, and then we'll start to use some matting to actually build some strength. Alrighty guys, so that's my first layer. Sorry I didn't just show you this. I did a little bit first of just normal straight epoxy just to wet in the areas before I put on the filler. Now I've put the filler on, I actually like going back across the other areas that I'm going to be using. So I'm obviously going to be working on this whole area, but I'm going to let this set off, and I'm going to sand it back again tomorrow. I'm using the slow hardener, but going over it with a brush is going to reduce some of the sanding that I need to do. I've taken off the sharp edges with the brush, so now the whole area is wetted out. This will now dry. I will sand it back, which means I will have a mechanical contact, not a chemical bond, but I believe that's the best way to do it for what I have here, the situation of this repair. Okay, so this morning's mission is not actually boat work. So here in the yard there is actually 7 dogs. One of them hadn't been spayed and neutered, and so she's the last one. And there's a free clinic today with cats and dogs of Lupron for spaying and neutering. So our job today was to catch one little fella. We couldn't catch her. She's in a little box. She's not very happy now. We couldn't catch her, so we had to have some of the local lads here from the yard to catch her. We've been trying since yesterday. He has managed to get her. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in a little moto taxi and head to the clinic and get her up there so she gets all sorted out.
Dogs and Cats of the Dominican Republic is an organization that aims to significantly improve the health and well-being of dogs and cats that are living in the DR. They have many volunteers here in Lupron who help with the free parasite clinic every month. This month they also have a free spay and neuter clinic, which is fantastic for the local street dogs. They're trying to keep the number of dogs down on the streets. Another awesome program they have is they have an adoption service. So recently they sent over 40 animals to Canada to new forever homes. Check out their website if you'd like to help by donating or even adopting a DR puppy.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm gonna oh, look at this lot.
Oh, hello. Hi.
I look, we
Hey,
already
so cute. Oh, you're just adorable.
Okay, so we're back from the dog sanctuary, which means I can get on with some work. Scruffy is going to be there for the day. So what we did yesterday, I wetted it out and I put it on some of the thickened hardener with the adhesive 406 filler. Now I've got a nice solid base to work from all the way along here. Before any of you jump on, I know I haven't got rid of absolutely everything under here, but that's because I'm going to go back to it from the inside. So I'm going to build it all up nice and solid here from the outside, and then I'll go and grind from the inside. I've just left a thin coat of the old stuff, just so that I've got a shape to work with to rebuild the outside. So everything's been feathered back in. I'm going to put, so this morning, because this is dried overnight, I will give this a quick sanding over. Once I've given it a sanding over, there's going to be a tiny little bit more fairing thinner, and then I'm going to use a very, very thin woven mat. That there then will start to give more strength into it. So we'll start building up layer by layer. I've laid up a bit more of the filler. I'm using the fast hardener today because I want to try and get a chemical bond. So I wetted it out first, put on a little bit more filler with the fast, as I said. And now what I'm going to do, while it's still wet and still tacky, I'm actually going to put a little bit of biaxial in there. I'm using a very, very thin biaxial. Sorry, I don't know the ounce weight of it. It's a very, very thin material because this is such a large void, and I've got the good fiberglass just up here. I want to get lots of, I don't just want to use filler. I want to fill it up using matting and resin, sometimes filler, but just to build it up stronger and thicker and harder, rather than, I don't want to just slap filler in this huge gap here. I want to get the extra value of using some matting in there as well. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to lay up a bit of this.
Holy crap.
All right, point the camera over here. Let's tell people what we're doing.
Oh my gosh,
All right,
that
so
looks great.
I need a camera assistant today for some of these parts because running backwards and forwards and that sort of stuff. And also we're having technical issues with the one and only camera we have, so it doesn't like staying on for too long. But I have put the thickened epoxy and I've wetted the area out. Now what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get a chemical bond today. This is a very big dip. With a chemical bond, you don't want it to fully dry because otherwise you have to sand it and then you only get a mechanical bond. So it's now gone slightly tacky. So this is a good time for us now to start laying some glass in here. All right, so let's go wet out some glass and start putting it on.
Woohoo. Looks great. Ah. Little workstation.
At the workstation.
Foxy, what do you got in your mouth?
Just a small piece of wood.
Oh, it's so nice under here. You get that breeze coming through.
And the shade.
It's beautiful.
3 of that one and 2 of that one.
Which one? What? Did I distract you?
No, not really. So again, I'm using the fast hardener because I want to work on this today. I'm just basically every 45 minutes or so, I'm going to add some extra layers.
Well, and we have some of the fast hardener left over, so may as well use it, right?
Well, that was from Matt. Matt gave us that stuff.
So this morning I've been upstairs, I've been decorating the boat with some Christmas lights while I've been waiting for a video to upload. So I have one of the SD cards upstairs waiting for all the footage to upload onto the computer. So I've been doing some decorating, which is way more fun than what Davy's doing down here. But
no,
actually, no, I think he liked this.
This is the fun stuff. All right, so nicely wetted out piece of cloth. Let's take it over.
All right. That stuff goes on so nicely, eh?
This is a very, very thin biaxle. It actually works around all these curvatures very, very nicely. I'm not sure the ounce weight.
Can you keep saying biaxle or viaxle?
Biaxle.
Biaxle.
Yeah.
And that is?
It's when the... I need to show... I can show you in a different video. It's easier than when I'm trying to do this to try and explain it. All right. One more.
Just one more.
Wow. There's going to be lots more.
So it's easier to wet it out on the table, eh, and then put it on.
It is. Those bits are going to get sanded anyway, they're on the outskirts. Oh, don't forget that spot. This is why I need Erica.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm getting eaten under there. I think there's mozzies under there.
Yeah, this is the worst spot.
In the shade. How's it going?
It's going good. So I've gone up to a thicker grade biaxle. Sorry, I still don't know the ounce weight, but this one's a lot heavier.
Yeah, it looks
It's very difficult to get the exact name of the product you're buying here. You know, you can feel it by weight, you can use it. This is a lot thicker, heavier one. So we've actually gone. So I've done the thinner one over the whole cracked area. Now I've gone across the whole area with the thicker one. And I'm going to let this tack off. Once it tacks off, then I'm going to go back in with a fairing filler again. And then I'll go and carry on with more glass. It's going to be a super strong section of the boat. All right, that looks good for a little bit.
Good job, babe.
While the camera's running, might as well say, so obviously you notice there's still a damage down the bottom here. But because of the fact we're on the hard and the boat is actually supported by blocks, I don't want to do the whole thing at once. Oh, I've just spotted an air bubble. Got to work on that. So I don't want to work on the whole area at once. So I'm going to re-strengthen all of this lot, so start building it up. And then I'll come in and work and I'll do all around the keel.
Yeah.
So that we have to do it sort of step by step.
All right.
This one there, there's one there, and there's a big one here. Just have to work those bubbles out. Okay guys, so the patch on this side is looking very, very good. Now I haven't got the 100% perfect shape, but it's not far off. There was one slight mistake here in this area. Just as I was putting fairing filler on at the end, it overheated slightly. The sun came, it was bright sunshine. It was behind a cloud, and then it came out just as I put it on, and slightly overcooked in this area here. So I will grind that back just to double check the integrity of it. Otherwise it's looking very, very good. Do apologize for the lack of video on this section. We've had massive problems with the GoPro, and we've only got the one at the moment. Most of our camera gear is in the Cayman Islands, and we definitely had some camera issues with this yesterday. But I'll explain it to you anyway, and we're also going to be doing several repairs exactly the same as this one. But the way we did it basically what we did, we've done it multiple. We haven't just done it with the filler, as I was explaining before. We've done multiple layers. So I've got the two different thicknesses biaxial. I've got the thinner one and the thicker one. So I was doing a layer of the thin one, then the thicker one, tiny little bit of filler just to flatten out little areas. And then I would go back across 2 layers of the thin, 2 layers of the thick, tiny bit of filler, and I built that up. So we've ended up with about 10 layers of glass in this area, which some people would have just put filler in. So it's going to be super, super strong. This is the strongest part of the boat I think we've got. It's looking very, very good. We also did this using a chemical bond, as in once we started, we didn't stop. So we let things get slightly tacky and then we continued with the next layer. So it's all built up with chemical bond, not just mechanical bond. So it's a nice solid finish. Good morning. All right, so this morning, good move. GoPro is back up and running. Seems to be working all right, so fingers crossed, keep crossed for that. So what I've got up to here, just want to show you where we're at. This layer is still drying. This is a adhesive fairing filler, so it can be used under the waterline. As you see, the crack is completely gone now. We've got, what was it, about 8 layers of glass in there. It's nice and strong, nice and solid. So I'm just trying to build up the shape again. So gone over it with a couple of layers. It's still tacky, so I'm going to do the same thing as what I was doing before with when I was laying the glass. I want to keep the chemical bond running. So just as it gets tacky, it's just getting tacky enough now that I can then skim across it with another layer. So that's what we're going to do right now. So, sorry about the soggy lens, it's a very wet afternoon, but we are moving the vessel. So, little sister is all prime, boys are in the water, it's peeing down. But up she comes.
Davy, get over here.
It's raining in paradise. It's cold. It's like winter in Europe.
Yeah.
But hey,
Why does my hood not come on as much as yours?
There you go.
There. It's
Why are we
wet
filming ourselves being all wet?
because sometimes it's wet and it kind of stops us from working.
Sometimes it's nice if you live in a brick house with a big roof and air conditioning.
It's Foxy's first snow.
Yeah. Snowball!
Snowball fight! Oi, that was a big one. What do you think, Fox? This is defrosting the freezer. Can you imagine what she'd do with snow?
Run inside.
Oh, crap!
Oh.
She's already given up and ran to the sofa. Fox! Oh, you brought ice to the sofa? Nuh-uh.
No.
Nuh-uh. Oh, get it. No! Foxy, that's gonna melt on the sofa. No! Knobhead! Ha-ha! I win!